We are
Officially live,
officially
for real.
live.
Oh, I don't think it's streamed yet. I don't think you could hear me.
Oh, okay. Well, hello. So Jennifer and Kevin, I have to apologize because last night we ran a stream on Melody Buzzard. I mean, I ran it. It was supposed to be live, and lo and behold, I screwed up. Okay, so I wasted their time. So, my girlfriends actually call me the absent-minded professor. I taught law at Boston College, and that's what they call me.
And I can tell you, Jen was on top of her game last night too. She had some of her best ever. I lucked out because I was the opposite. I was like sitting here, barely with us. So I was kind of glad to wipe it from the history books, but
I was so bummed. I'm like, oh my God, did I really do that? And you know what I did? I ended up going I didn't have dinner. I ate a bag of popcorn and had 2 glasses of wine. I'm like, I was so mad at myself, and watched Hulu. So anyway, we have a lot to discuss today. And again, we have, I'm Margaret McLean from It's a Crime with Margaret McLean. And we have Kevin Linehan from Yellow Cottage Tales and Jennifer Coffindaffer from Break the Case. We will be discussing you guys like my intro?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yes, it's really nice, professional.
Well, I worked on it this afternoon because I felt so bad. So who do you want to start with? Let's start with Brian Walshe.
That was pretty shocking news this morning to hear that early in the morning, that breaking news.
Yeah. So what happened was he actually pled guilty to the charge of moving the body and interfering with a police investigation. But he left the first degree murder charge on the table. We have jury selection going on, not now, but today. So the big issue is how is this going to change the way prosecutors try the case, and why did he do this? So take it away. You know what? We'll start with you, Kevin.
Well, it's a fascinating strategy, right? You're going to stand up there and tell a jury that, yes, he's not going to get on the stand, presumably, but essentially his side is going to be saying, yes, he cut up the body and disposed of it. He searched on Google for how to do this, how to get rid of a body, his wife's body. He dismembered it, and he disposed of it somewhere. And is the prosecution going to ask him, since he's coming clean, is he going to come clean about where that body is? Because we still don't know where the body is. So won't he have to come clean on that? But he's going to have to somehow convince a jury that he had some reason for cutting up his wife's body and disposing of it and then lying about it, even though he is going to claim that he's innocent of murder.
Right. The only thing that I can see that he'll say is maybe they were arguing and it was a heat of the moment, and maybe he might say it was New Year's Eve, that she was drunk and fell down the stairs and hit her head, or fell and hit something, and he panicked thinking that he was going to be charged with her murder. He knew there was a history, they were going to be getting a divorce and that could come out, but he panicked, and he'll argue that he went and Googled how to dispose of a body. He went and bought the hacksaw at Home Depot, plus cleaning supplies at both Home Depot and Lowe's. And then it looks like they will produce evidence that he ultimately dismembered Anna in the basement, because there was blood evidence down there. And the hacksaw did have a bone fragment that was found in it. So will the jury buy this? What's your thought, Jen?
Well, I don't think the jury is going to know about the pleas. And remember, this was the same tactic that was done in the Adam Montgomery case. So where he pled to everything but the murder. He said, I didn't do the murder. And their tactic was so that they could not have allow in, and they would have an argument for not allowing a lot of the evidence to come in. That was the whole tactical reason. I think that's the same tactical reason here. I don't think it's going to work here, just like it didn't work there, because I think the prosecution could say, hey, listen, we still need to get in the Google searches. You know, we still need to prove this for murder, not just for these lesser crimes. But at least now the defense is going to have some argument as to why they shouldn't be allowed in, because they pointedly show the 2 crimes he's already pled guilty for.
Yeah. I think it's going to be hard to separate the two, as far as it's going to be very difficult for the judge to separate what comes in to evidence and what doesn't. Given,
yeah. I agree with you. It didn't work for Adam Montgomery. I'm just saying it's the exact same strategy. We're seeing a duplication of strategy, I think, to try to get certain pieces of evidence withheld. The other thing is, it also might come down to, as you mentioned, either saying it was an accident and that's how she died. And then, but I mean, come on. So I decided to dismember her. So that doesn't look great. But no, they're going to try to get that part thrown out. And then the second piece could be a third-party culprit situation. Somebody else did it. Yes, I covered it up because I was trying to protect them. So I can only see those 2 defense strategies working. And overall, I think they're just trying to keep evidence out.
And the jury would have the option, even though he's charged with murder, of convicting him of manslaughter, right?
I don't think manslaughter is on the table. No. So unless you have it on the table, you can't do that.
Right.
I researched it today, and from what I could find, in Massachusetts, it's part of the standard jury instructions that they can convict on manslaughter if they don't feel that intent was proved.
I don't see manslaughter as a lesser included here.
That's the problem. It's not even going to be on the verdict form.
Okay.
Right. Whereas in the Karen Reed case, remember, it was on the verdict form because there were all sorts of lesser includeds. And that's why Judge Cannoni went through the lesser includeds with the manslaughter and then the OUI manslaughter and all of that. I think he's, I don't know, unless he might just.
Well, then the question, then would the state be smarter to drop the charge or to include that as a lesser included, because they don't know what happened here and they don't know if it was an accident?
Well, they're going to try to show it was an accident, but like I said, who has their spouse have an accident and they say, I think I'll go buy a hacksaw, time to chop them all up? I mean,
yeah, it would, in theory, it's a far-fetched story, and then you'd ask, why wouldn't Walshe tell the story now? But I mean, let's say somebody's driving home drunk and pulling into their driveway, they hit somebody and kill them. And then they dispose of the body because they know they're going to get convicted of OUI manslaughter. So the original accident was an accident and it was manslaughter, but yet they still had an incentive to cover up the body. Is it impossible to imagine something here? Like Margaret said, could something accidental have happened while they were partying or something like that?
I think that they're going to look at that, but the problem is the Google searches. The Google searches show intent. So to me, he's absolutely cream on the Google searches, but I think they're going to try not to let those come in.
I think so too.
But would they show intent of what?
They show intent of him disposing of the body. How do you dispose of the body?
But that's after the body's dead. The same thing could have happened if the person had died accidentally and you want to get rid of the body. Like in the scenario that I just said, let's say you struck somebody driving into your driveway.
But he Googled it before the crime. He Googled it before anything happened to her.
Before she was killed?
Yeah, he didn't Google it after.
Oh.
He was Googling all this stuff early. That's my understanding.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Do you know?
Okay.
I thought he was Googling it after.
I thought he was Googling it before.
Okay.
How would we even know without
that? But
how would we know what time
because they're on the Google searches. Let me find out.
No, but how would we know what time she was killed?
Well, she was killed sometime after midnight because we have the witness, the friend that celebrated midnight, the ball coming down, and then he left. And then one of the children came down. Well, actually, he was still there when one of the kids came down.
So if the searches were before
I
midnight,
thought the Google searches happened. I think they started happening like at 2 a.m. or sometime between 2 and 6 a.m. on the son's iPad at that point where he started like how to dispose. In my case, I'm thinking he was panicking at that point.
Yeah, so that's the key. So if it was before midnight, Jen would be correct, and it would show intent. It would show premeditation. So
yeah, no, I'm almost positive it was after. And I think it's going to be tough. I think, but if you think about it, right, it's the only chance he has to say, you know what, I shouldn't have done it. I was in a panic mode. I was in a state of real panic. And as a result, I was almost like, out of my mind. And I was so worried that I would lose my kids because I should have called the police. I know. I imagine if he's going with that, I got to believe he's going to testify.
Okay.
Otherwise, how do you get that story out? You and I were talking about that, Kevin.
Really quick. And this is exactly what I remembered. It was way in advance. And it was multiple times and multiple dates. December 27th, January 1st, January 2nd.
Wow.
Wait. Jen, December 27th, he was Googling about what states to get a divorce in. What's the best state to get a divorce in, right?
I got him in front of me here too. Is it 4:55 was when he first searched how long before a body starts to smell, and that's on January 1st. That's on January 1st.
But the December Googles were about, we knew that they were going to be getting a divorce. And I believe that's what the Google search was. So the search pertaining to how to dispose of a body, is it going to start to smell, et cetera, was after midnight, between like around 4 a.m. And then it continued. And I think, he can, as a result, he could argue, oh my God, we were going to get divorced and we had a fight that night. We were both drinking. She slipped and fell, hit her head, died, and I panicked.
They're not going to charge premeditation. I think the reason they charge premeditation was based on these Google searches. I mean, that's why they could say it's premeditated and they don't have anything else. So let me look up more Google searches. But
it's so funny.
Well, I think
there was so much to it. Yeah.
From what I'm reading here, that is correct. That is the basis for that. I think it's unconvincing. I don't think it's really beyond a reasonable doubt just to say the fact that he was searching for what's the best way to divorce somebody. Where's the best state to divorce somebody?
Yeah.
I don't think you can go from that to premeditated murder. That seems like a leap to me.
Yeah. And don't forget another bit of evidence that they're going to show is the mother. So Brian Walshe's mother and Brian Walshe's mother actually hired a private investigator to follow Anna around to try to prove that she was having an affair. And allegedly she was having an affair with somebody in Washington, D.C., but that would be maybe some evidence of premeditation, that he was angry about the affair. But I didn't see anything prior to when she was allegedly killed. So it'll be I think these new developments, oops, oh gosh, I forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry, guys.
Are we still live?
Oh God. Yes. Absent-minded professor. Okay. You guys can all call me the absent-minded professor. I actually pressed the button to turn my phone off. It was off. And then as a result, I turned my phone back on. So that's very typical. Anyway, it's, what are you guys in chat saying?
So essentially he Googles cheating wife. This is what we know, by the way. This has been released, and we all know the prosecution hasn't released everything. I don't think.
No.
So we've got cheating wife. This was 8 hours before. Pornography and the best state to divorce a man. A man. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Not a woman. So I get what you're saying, Kevin, in terms of a leap. Is it he premeditating divorce or is he premeditating murder? But I'm guessing there's going to be more.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a case. Before, I was thinking, oh, this is a slam dunk. There was so much evidence. But with these two charges off the table, I think it will help his defense. And I hate to say it, but I'm not rooting for this guy at all. I mean,
why do you think it's helping his defense?
What?
Why do you think it helps his defense?
Because I think, in my opinion, it clears, clears the way for him to make an argument through his lawyers, or possibly if he testified that, you know what, I'll admit it. I'll admit I interfered with the investigation because I was in a state of panic. And I know it sounds terrible. I'll admit that I didn't know what to do. I dismembered her body in my basement, or maybe he doesn't have to admit to that. I don't know. I put her in the 2 plastic bags. I drove the bags to Abington, and they have footage of this. I hefted them in the dumpster in Abington. And of course, those dumpsters were taken down to the Cape and they were incinerated. So we know that, but he can argue, listen, it may put reasonable doubt into the jurors' minds. Well, was this an accident? Do we believe this guy?
Well, do you think he'll take the stand?
What?
Do you think he'll take the stand?
I mean, I would never advise anybody to take the stand as a defense attorney, but maybe in this case, he will. But then everything can come out about him. He's a known fraudster. And he had charges pending. Well, that might not come out, but
Jen, do you think this makes it more or less likely that he will take the stand? Does he owe the jury an explanation, even though the judge's instructions are going to be that he's not required to? But the fact that he's going to now basically admitting to the disposing and essentially dismembering the body, does the jury expect him to get up there and explain that to them now if they're going to give him any kind of a break?
He's an idiot if he gets up on the stand.
Yes.
He's going to be crucified because of that dismemberment of the body. There is no way a jury's going to listen to have somebody took a hacksaw and, quartered their spouse to get rid of them and maybe even beheaded them and not have this guy look like a monster. And remember, we're forgetting about all the blood that was everywhere. Yeah. We're forgetting about all of that down in the basement. That doesn't go with falling down the stairs or an accident. I think the totality is going to fry him. I just think that they're hoping to try to keep some stuff out by doing this.
Yeah. Of course, they don't have a body, though. They don't have a body to show. I mean, that so he could basically say anything he wants, because how are you going to disprove it? Right.
An accident would not mean blood everywhere unless she tried to kill herself, unless they're going with that in some way.
Well, the blood could be when he dismembered her. I didn't kill her, but I chopped her up because I was in a state of panic. But I didn't kill her. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just throwing it out there and playing devil's advocate. But
I think
and those 2 charges that he pled guilty to don't carry a lot of time. I believe maybe a total of 10 years. Not a lot of time. So
yeah, and he only needs 1 juror, right, to at least to get a mistrial. And right now, particularly in that county, a lot of the public is not trusting the prosecution.
Yeah, and
does that case affect this case?
It does.
The
Proctor's, they're going to crucify Proctor again in this case.
We have the Proctor factor.
Right.
So, and we talked earlier where, we didn't think that the Proctor factor would make such a difference in this case because there seemed to be so much evidence against Walshe. I mean, I think the Proctor factor would make a bigger difference in, the Karen Reed case, but I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how the defense, how the attorneys put on a defense in this case.
Right.
It'll be It'll be more interesting than I thought.
I think it'll be a very interesting case. I mean, I think he did it. Everything I've seen.
Yeah.
This premeditation thing, you've got me wondering about that, what else they have to show premeditation. I think it's going to be way more than we know about that they have to show the premeditation.
What do you think it'll be, Jen?
Well, we know they're going to set it up with those Google searches, but are there more Google searches? What about, is there anything else that he wrote, typed, said to anyone that could come forward as witnesses? What about,
I don't know though, Jen. I'm not falling for that one. We saw people kept saying that in the Karen Reed case too, that there's more they're sitting on, or these voicemails prove this and this. Nothing more came out. Nothing more came out.
Oh, there was a lot that came out from trial two.
In the second trial, yes, in the second trial. But I mean, in that first trial, nothing more came out. There was more that came out in the second trial because you got more data from the vehicle.
Well, the other thing is, the arraignment. I thought when he was arraigned in Superior Court, the prosecutor went on and on and on and on with all the evidence they had against him. Right. So, and mentioned the Google searches after the first, after midnight. Yeah. So it'd be on the first and then after. And they also mentioned the Google searches before that we talked about with where to get a divorce if you're a man, and right. But he did get. Remember, he didn't get all those supplies at Home Depot and Lowe's until like after, and between the first and the fourth. The fourth is when the missing persons case started. And by the way, this happened literally a mile and a half from my house. So I go by the murder house every day. And it was quite something when they were looking for Anna. So
who's in that house now?
Oh, it was rented to them, so I'm really not sure. Probably other renters, although I don't know. I don't think I'd want to rent it, thinking that somebody was chopped up in the basement.
Right.
I don't know how many people know. I know when you sell a house, in some states, you have to disclose that, but I don't think when you rent a house, you have to disclose anything happened. In fact, I know you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll have to drive by and sneak over and see if there's lights in there, because I wouldn't want to be renting that place. That's for sure. But it was just crazy because so many people around her knew Anna. I didn't know her personally, but for my podcast, I talked to a number of people who did, and it's just such a shame. She was a great mom. She loved her kids, and those two little boys, I just feel so sorry for them. They lost their mother and their father.
By the way, sorry.
No, go ahead. That's okay. Go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just going to say, certainly researching, she had a very long-term affair. Long-term, went to Dublin, spent holidays with him. It's a very, that's not disputable, or that's not in dispute. And, but it certainly doesn't make for her being a victim of being murdered. She shouldn't be murdered for that.
Right.
Wonder will anybody who's a scorned lover be on the jury? That they could rationalize. I mean, there's just people like that. You could put something up there about that, and I guarantee you on Twitter, just say you posted something about that. I guarantee there would be some percentage that would say she deserved it, blah, 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 blah. It's just facts. Some people are like that.
Yeah, right. That's true. And I doubt the jury will hear, the jury's not going to hear any information about his federal case where he was convicted in the art fraud case. So, he was awaiting sentencing when all this happened.
Well, I think they'll hear it, obviously, if he takes the stand.
If he takes the stand, yeah.
Because that's a crime of moral turpitude, lying, fraud. And so they will use that to discredit him. But if he doesn't take the stand, I don't know. Have they already said that they're not going to allow that, Margaret? I don't know.
I haven't seen any pretrial motions on that yet. So, I mean, I can look it up, but usually that would be, that would be something that wouldn't come in because it would prejudice the defendant.
Right.
Yeah. So, but you're right. If he takes the stand, he could still argue, well, yeah, I pled guilty to art fraud, blah, 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 but that doesn't mean I murdered my wife.
Right. It just means you're a liar and a fraud, and that's
Yeah.
why you would allow it in.
Right.
In that case, I don't know if they would allow it in for this. I agree with you. It's probably too far afield.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it, we'll have to talk about some of this stuff as we're covering the trial, like what really happened behind the scenes in the marriage. I have a friend who was very close with them, and they didn't see it coming at all. They didn't. So a lot of people didn't see it coming. I think she kept that affair very quiet.
Yeah, we should mention to the audience that we will all be covering this live, streaming it once the trial begins on December 1st. So you'll be able to find it on all 3 channels: Jen's channel, Breaking the Case with Jen Coffindaffer; Margaret's channel, which I finally can remember.
Yay!
It's a Crime Media. It's a Crime Media.
Yep.
And then my channel, Yellow Cottage Tales. It only took me like 4 months to be able to remember Margaret's channel.
I know. And I promise I will never make the mistake I made yesterday. We learn from our mistakes. I will go live, and I am live. And you guys are live. So
I think that's what helped me. I had to keep typing it in last night because I thought we were live, and I kept typing it in to people in my chat wondering where we were, and I kept typing it in. It's a Crime Media word, and one person even said they found us. I don't know what they found.
I know. But. So what threw me was I kept seeing the chat, right? So I'm like, oh well, we must be live. There's the chat, and then one guy said, oh, I found you guys. So okay, yeah, everything's fine. And then it turned out it wasn't. But I won't let that happen again. So this will be an interesting trial. And Jen, I think a lot of those evidentiary matters are going to be really quite fascinating to discuss. So I'm looking forward to that. And we'll also have other guests on too, some lawyers we know, to talk about this, to debate the facts, to see, to debate what do you think a jury is going to do, and what was the strategy behind dropping these, or pleading out on these 2 charges. So the next, have we exhausted Walshe for now? Did I forget something?
Mm-mm.
All right. So now let's talk about, I'd say this is, Karen Reed just filed a civil lawsuit. So it's a 46-page complaint, and Karen is accusing multiple Massachusetts state police troopers, several Canton residents, like that would be the McCabe's, the Alberts, Brian Higgins, of gross misconduct, and that they shielded O'Keefe's real killer. So this is a statement from Jackson. He said, Alan Jackson says, today's filing speaks for itself. It is a meticulously documented civil action grounded in evidence, law, and the Constitution. For more than 3 years, Karen Reed was dragged through a baseless criminal prosecution engineered by individuals who abused their authority, manipulated the investigative process, and trampled her rights. Our complaint lays out in stark detail the malicious prosecution, the conspiracy, the civil rights violations, and the intentional misconduct that these defendants visited upon an innocent woman. He goes on to say, unlike the criminal case, this time the defendants don't get to hide behind badges, back channel favors, or manufactured narratives. They will have to answer in a court of law for every lie, every omission, every manipulated report, and every constitutional violation they committed. So that's Jackson.
So will Karen.
Oh boy. So it's against the The defendants are Michael Proctor, Sergeant Buchanan, Lieutenant Brian Tully, Brian and Nicole Elbert, Jen and Matt McCabe, Brian Higgins, and the Mass State Police in the town of Canton are expected to be added later.
I read through the whole, it's like a 46-page document.
Yeah.
I read through it all this earlier today. And all the quiet stuff that they've been sending out Nick Rocco and Nurse Kim and Turtle Boy to say over the last 2 years, now they're putting it in the document. They're saying that John was killed in the house and who killed him and blah, blah, blah. So now the gloves are off, right? And,
the gloves are off.
Karen is going to have to be deposed. There's no way to avoid it. And she may be called to take the stand. She will have the option of pleading the fifth. But the jury in this case, unlike, Margaret, maybe you can explain this, in a civil case, unlike a criminal case, the jury will have the option of weighing that against her if she refuses to testify.
Well, I think they'll consolidate the two cases. And she's already been found not guilty. So her Fifth Amendment, I doubt will she be able to take the fifth? That case is over. That criminal case is over.
Right.
Over.
Right. It's,
but in this case, the big difference is the criminal case has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but civil case, preponderance of the evidence. So basically, it's a 51% standard. So, more likely than not. So it's much easier to prove a civil case. I also noticed that this case was filed down in Bristol County in Taunton. So, and that it makes a difference because, what the lawyers will do is they'll basically shop counties. Where will I get a better deal? Or where are there more Karen Reed supporters? So there was a reason for that. The key allegations, just again, I'm not going to read the 46 pages like you did, Kevin, for the live, but key allegations are conspiracy and cover up. Reed claims O'Keefe died inside the Alberts home after a late night party, not being struck by her SUV. She alleges the defendant staged the scene to look like a hit and run. Evidence tampering. The suit accuses investigators of planting taillight fragments.
Right, says it.
Yeah.
Planting evidence. Yep.
And glass on her vehicle and O'Keefe's clothing too. Deleting surveillance footage and falsifying reports. Bias and misconduct. Text messages allegedly show Proctor called Reed derogatory names just hours into the investigation. Destruction of evidence. 2 defendants allegedly destroyed their phones after the court ordered preservation. Impact on Reed. So you always have to show what the damages will be. The complaint details devastating personal consequences. Reed lost her job, her home, her health insurance, millions of dollars in legal and expert fees to fight the criminal case, severe stress that exacerbated her chronic illness.
But of course, she became a star too.
She became a star, absolutely. And she seeks damages under federal civil rights law for malicious prosecution and conspiracy, Massachusetts Civil Rights Act, common law claims, including malicious prosecution, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and civil conspiracy. And she's demanding a jury trial and punitive damages, which mean to punish. So that's punitive damages is when you get into the real big figures if the jury believes that all this bad stuff occurred.
Mm-hmm.
It's to punish. So, thoughts?
Jen?
Well, I'll say this. Did I tell you in the FBI that when we title a case, we name the case? So everybody knows the case. I'll just give you an example as Los Tios, right? We don't list the 50 defendants involved in the case like you saw that styled there. We do that for ease and because as time goes on, different people drop in and drop off. So I have named this case from now on, it's the Pigpen case. And we name cases like that. And it's because every time I hear of this case, discuss this case, am around this case, it is filled with such filth and such muck. I need a shower after discussing it. The players and the people involved in this case have the filthiest mouths, have the most, I don't know. It's just shocking, the people involved in this case. So it's the Pigpen case for me.
Well, I can report some new dirt here that I don't think anybody's reported yet.
Oh, please.
Oh, yes, please do, Kevin.
Adam Deach, the prosecutor for the feds, has announced, I believe, that he's running for office for Morrissey's seat as district. He's running for district attorney in Norfolk County.
Wow. Okay.
And this is the guy that wrote the warrants, the affidavits, to get warrants for all the communications of everybody in the house. They got the communications of everybody, including Michael Proctor, and then all the witnesses in the house, with the exception of Colin. That Adam Deach, that dirty Fed, is now running for Michael Morrissey's job.
Do you think he'll win? Everybody hates Morrissey, my understanding.
Yeah, there's several people running out there, and they're running to primary him. So I don't know. I mean, there's a woman that's been running for a while, and she's an FKR person. So
okay, she may have a chance.
Yeah, I couldn't begin to guess. I'm not from that county.
I'm not either. I'm really on the border. So I literally, if you go out you walk about half a mile north, it's that county, Norfolk County. Right. I'm in Plymouth County, so
yeah,
I don't pay attention to that as much. But yeah,
one of the biggest problems with this suit is they kept Colin Albert off. And they have been screaming for over 2 years that Colin Albert was involved in this. He was the one, right? And then finally, Canoni said there's not enough information about him. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to have him as a third-party culprit. So to me, just another fallacy in their whole argument. Oh, so now he's not involved?
He's not.
Not like hell. So it's just a complete.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
To me, the jury's going to see Karen say, in her own words, that she dropped John off in the driveway and saw him walk into the house. And then they're going to see the vehicle data, the GPS data from John's phone, which shows that the vehicle never came to a stop until it got to the edge of the property where they found him, near the flagpole. It slowed down, but it never came to a stop. So how is Karen going to explain that? We're also going to see that Karen has made statements that after she dropped John off and was frustrated and waiting outside, she texted and called him several times. But the phone company documents show she didn't text him at all. And the first call doesn't come until she was probably on the way home. Right. Certainly wasn't while she was sitting there. So how many those lies that she's been getting away with, she's no longer going to get away with. And a jury's going to have
Yeah, but she's still going to use Proctor.
We've already seen this happen. It's called jury nullification. They're going to have a jury. I have absolutely no faith that the O'Keeffes will win. I have every faith they will win something. So all of that, you're way too logical, Kevin. You're trying to use facts, and that doesn't work with these jury pools there.
Yeah, you know what, Jen, you're right. I'm worried, Kevin. I totally see what you're saying, but we have the Proctor factor again, right? It's right in the complaint here, and that's going to inflame the jury. There are so many Karen Reed supporters in this state.
Doesn't it seem like the first jury was very different from the second jury? They obviously had a different result. They had 9 guilty votes. So
yeah, I know.
So many people, different people, and you didn't have the 2 main people on there that didn't listen after witness 1, all because an EMT medic trying to save somebody's life couldn't remember whether the guy had a coat on or a shirt on or a vest on, whatever. That he said, "Oh, after that, I'm not listening." So all you have to hear is that, and then his background about how he hates police. This was a jury nullification case, no different than OJ, and I think the others will too. And I think Alan Jackson and Karen Reed know it. They've got these jurors where they want them, and I have no faith in any justice there. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean,
I agree with you, Jen.
You're ruining my day, Jen. Yes, no, I mean, we've all been depressed about this, but you know, if you had that first jury and you don't need a unanimous decision in a civil case, so there is a chance if you get a better jury, right?
Well, there's a chance that she could win because doesn't have to be beyond a reasonable doubt, preponderance of the evidence that she proves her claim, by a 51% standard.
Right. I
That's
mean,
easier for her. And then she throws the Proctor stuff up. She gets the jury angry.
But she's caught. The evidence is overwhelming against her, and she has now something that wasn't allowed in the trials, but her lies. It's going to be hard for a rational jury to just ignore that stuff.
You said a rational jury.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why are you lying if you're innocent?
That's the caveat that's not going to happen. By the way, I need to get my handy wipes already.
Yeah. I feel far enough away, and you're even further away, Jen. We're not. Hopefully, we're not dirtied up by this.
Well, I'm barely going to cover it. I'm going to cover the big points that happen. Obviously, I reported on the change of judge in the O'Keefe case. Whether that's going to be helpful or not helpful from his record. Things like that, the big stuff. I'm not going to cover the blogger at all, other than if he's found guilty or not guilty. And any bombshells, like I would cover if he turns on her. I mean, there's always, as the world turns, the soap opera.
Well, he has turned on her. On her.
Well, she turned on him. They turned on each other. That's what you can expect in this. Alessi turned.
Yep.
Boy, wouldn't it be great if Alessi just came in and said, listen, we concocted this all. And I feel like Alessi might have a little bit of morality in him. And I guess I was always hopeful, maybe once the House of Cards started going in, but I don't think it would really come
He's still bound by attorney-client privilege.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're bound by that. I don't think you'll see that.
Yeah.
I think he's just a technician that came in to do his job, and his job was primarily just to deal with the expert witnesses.
By the way, you're not bound by attorney-client privilege if you do something illegal.
Right.
Yeah, but I know it.
As a technicality.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to. He's going to stay out of this one.
Right. I think it'll be like, I always play this tape of the jurors in OJ when they're like 75, right? And they all come out and say, we absolutely voted guilty. There was no way we weren't going to vote guilty. I mean, not guilty because of Rodney King. And they ask him that. Did you do this because of Rodney King? And all these, 75-year-old women are like, yeah, we did it.
Right.
So look for that kind of once everybody's sort of dead and gone,
Yeah, dead and gone.
Some truth.
And don't forget, the civil trial is a good 2 years away.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So a lot can happen between now and then.
The thing that worries me about the Adam Deitch thing is that we imagined there's some kind of a war going on at the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the new U.S. Attorney Foley, we had hoped that she was trying to do the right thing here, but I think the fact that Deitch is running tells me she's not going to do the right thing. It's nothing. She's not going to release any of the wrongdoing or make public any of the wrongdoing that they did in that office. They could have an investigation that I know for a fact that they're fighting to release those affidavits, which all of those witnesses are entitled to. And at the end of the day, they'll probably win because they're the feds. And it's unfortunate because what went on in that office really bordered really up to criminality. In the way they conspired with a murder defendant, basically became a part of that defense team. That's a pretty powerful ally to have.
I can't disagree.
The U.S. government,
Yeah, you almost never see anything. I can't think of any case comes close to what happened in that regard. Getting the federal government basically to be your your hand. I mean, honestly, the only chance that this case will ever be broken wide open as far as what's happened, even, I mean, we can all read the text messages. It's all there. It's all there in black and white, really, that spells everything out, is if the blogger comes forward. If that blogger comes forward, he could break this thing wide open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Him.
But I don't think he knows anything about her innocence or guilt, though, as far as what happened that night. I think the only thing he knows is her potential participation in the witness harassment, and he's getting close to coming out to admitting that, I think, at this point.
But I think also he knows what she told him, and if she ever, copped to it.
She never was going to cop.
I don't think she would do that.
No. She was. Why would she? No, she was never going to do that. He wasn't that kind of person.
Many times. And so I'm just saying, people who drank with her when her guard was down, it's possible she could have copped to some things. Look at what she said on national television, which I call admitting it.
Yeah, me too.
Of course I am. Of course. But
you don't think she's convinced herself that she's innocent?
Look.
I think she might have.
I think so.
I don't.
I think she's convinced herself that she's innocent, she's a victim, and she's a hero that's fighting for everybody else that's been a victim of the system. That's what I think.
Herself.
That's what I think's in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, she was so drunk, when she was that night, and she might have thought she might have convinced herself by thinking, oh, I remembered it wrong. I thought maybe I hit him, but I remembered it wrong. And there's no way I hit him. So she convinced herself of that.
I mean, the brain is very, cognitive dissonance. The brain is very powerful in convincing itself, even unconsciously, to think, to believe things or see things or even remember things that make you more comfortable, that don't make you uncomfortable. And the idea of murdering that you murdered your boyfriend is going to make you uncomfortable. That's not something you want to go to sleep with every night. And
I don't think so.
But I think her father knows. Her father was in
character or lack thereof. I think only conscious, good people, I don't think she's that kind of a person, Kevin.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. I think her father knows.
He was in the
hospital that morning, and he knows he's smart enough to have caught her in her lies. But it's his daughter, so I guess I can understand it. But that's when you now that if you know your daughter was guilty, but that's it, she's out of jail, there's no double jeopardy. Stop accusing innocent people.
That's my whole thing. Oh my gosh, it just never ends. It's the pig pen that keeps giving.
It will never end. It just, I think about it, 2 trials, and now this one. I think they were talking about consolidating the O'Keefe's civil case with this one, but then it'll be interesting to see what county it would be tried in.
Yes, how does that work, Margaret? Because one's in Plymouth and the other one's in Bristol. So how do they decide which one, if they're going to merge them?
Well, it would be up to the judges, I imagine.
Do they do it do they pick a third county or do they just pick one of those 2?
They could possibly.
And of course, there's an also possible third case that hasn't been filed yet, but that would be from the witnesses against Karen. Which would be a defamation case.
Right.
But I don't think that would be merged, because then you'd have 3 different cases and 3 different types of cases. One is a wrongful death, one would be a defamation, and the other would be Karen's civil rights case. Karen's is like a civil rights case, right?
Well, it's civil. It's federal civil rights. It's federal civil rights law, Massachusetts civil rights, but also the common law claims, which include malicious prosecution, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and civil conspiracy. So it's more than the civil rights. It's in addition to. So she's thrown a lot at the wall here and hoping some of it sticks.
Right.
I mean, malicious prosecution. Remember, you don't have to prove it all. Like, she may win on something like malicious prosecution. She gets a jury in her favor, like Jen was saying. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. They'll rely on that Proctor evidence and his texts to his high school friends. Yeah, I mean, it's going to get ugly.
And there may be some new Proctor texts too, it sounds like.
Yes, there was a big dump recently.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, fortunately, that's a long time away, so we won't have to worry about it now.
Right. We won't have to worry about it now. So we will be focusing on the Walshe case, which is scheduled to start on December 1st. So after Thanksgiving, we'll be a few pounds heavier, huh?
I hope in my case, but yeah.
Yes, I know.
We want you a few pounds heavier, Kevin.
Yes, we do.
I wish people could, like, everybody could just eat those and give them to me. Just say, all those people that don't want the few pounds, just eat the few pounds and then give them to me. I'll take them.
Oh, I would love to eat extra chocolate pie. Oh, I would kill for like 5 pieces of chocolate pie.
You're more a dessert person, huh?
I like it all. I love food. I love to cook. But I gain weight, so I've got to be careful.
Me too. I'm a total foodie.
Yeah. Do you like to cook, Jen?
I love to cook. I made potato soup last night. Tonight I'm making tilapia with rice pilaf.
Oh, that's delicious.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm going to have my homemade chicken soup that I made the other day.
Ooh, yummy.
Yum. Looking forward to it.
That would be
better for me. I
I
make a great chicken soup, but I load it with vegetables, so it's like a meal.
Yes.
Yum. How's your eating going along, Kevin?
It's been tough because I had, radiation on my throat, and it just seems to food. I have to wash down every bite, and so it's a challenge. But I'm trying. I haven't gained any weight, so I'm trying. I've been back. Started back at the gym this week, though. Believe it or not.
Good.
Was very weak, but I'm working my way through it, and hopefully it'll get better, get stronger, and then that'll probably help my appetite a little bit. And so I'm not quitting.
How about something like, loading up on a Chick-fil-A double chocolate Oreo shake and have like a day and just suck those things down.
You're thinking to yourself, what would I do if I could just eat and I had to gain weight? So that's what you're thinking, right?
Those chocolate shakes that I take 2 sips of it and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
I agree with the chat. I think you look great, Kevin.
And it's funny too. I'm the least fussy person. Like, no, I would eat everything. There's very few things that I wouldn't eat, from vegetables to meats to whatever foreign food. I'll eat any ethnic food. I love them all. But now it's like I have a hard time now. So I'm hoping it'll get better. Just trying to get through it. And so I only weigh 180 pounds now.
How tall are you?
So 6'2". So this past March, I was 215 pounds. So
yeah.
I lost a lot.
I'm serious about the chocolate shake thing. You kind of blew me off. I think that's part of the answer. 15 calories a shake. No, I don't know how many, but it's a lot.
Well, I do have ice cream in the house, and I will occasionally try to make a frap and put in one of those Ensures in it. It's loaded with protein, and
we have a frap maker in the chat. Christina says she is a professional frap maker.
Jen, do you know what a frap is? Because a frap is a very New England kind of word.
Yeah, Jen, how do you know what that is?
I'm probably totally wrong. But what I think it is sort of a very rich coffee drink with different other chocolates and other thing in it. But I could be totally wrong.
It's a milkshake.
It's just a milkshake. Yeah.
It's New England's name for a milkshake.
Yeah, just like we got Jimmy's instead of sprinkles.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was my guess at it. So
that's close. Yep, very close. And then here in New England, so I'm from upstate New York originally, and they call the liquor stores or the package stores.
Yeah, we call it packies down here.
Packies. Did you know
Packies?
that?
Short-
Yeah.
It's short for package store. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to the Packy. I'm getting a 6-pack of beer.
To distinguish from a bar in Massachusetts, Jen, you can't go into a bar and order something to take out. It has to stay on the premises, a bar or a restaurant. So if you want to buy liquor, you have to go to a package store, a place where they could put it in a package for you and let it out and let you take it out.
Yeah, that's the history behind it.
Yeah.
What's the difference between, so a Packy store isn't a liquor store? Or
It
you
is a
said
liquor store.
Yeah, it is.
it used to be called a liquor store, and now it's called a package store because they put it in a bag?
No, it's
been
always
called a
been called
package store
Packy.
for a long, right, for generations.
Yeah, because when I
It's
first came to college here, I didn't know what it was. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
we
Everybody's like, we're
call
going
them
up
the
to the
liquor
Packy.
stores. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Packy, I don't know what's a Packy. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's
very New England.
there's a few regional things we have like that, Frap and Packy,
That's a big
Jimmy's instead of sprinkles.
Yeah.
There's a few. There's not a lot, but there's a few.
What did you say? Jimmy's instead of sprinkles?
So you know what sprinkles are? You put them on an ice cream cone, right? Like,
Yeah, donut or something.
yeah, donut. Most of the country calls them sprinkles. We call them Jimmy's for some reason.
Really? Okay, I got one for you. Do you know what a runza is?
No.
So a runza is basically a bread, and inside the bread is basically onion and ground beef inside.
Oh, that sounds good.
Wow.
Oh, it's delicious, and the bread is special. It tastes like no other bread. But I'm from Nebraska, Kansas, so that's just one of, I think, our. Do you know what galoshes are?
Isn't that what you wear in your feet in the rain?
Yeah, the shoes, snowshoes, basically.
Yeah,
Snow boots. Call them galoshes. I was trying to think if there's any other little regional things with food.
Oh, I know one.
Upstate
New York. Here's something interesting. If you're from anybody from upstate New York, okay, they make we have salt potatoes, and we have them in the summer. And everybody from Mass and New England, they're like, what are salt potatoes? So they come in a bag, right? And they're half the time the potatoes are grown in Maine, but they come in a bag with a big pouch of salt. So you throw the potatoes in the boiling water, and then you empty the salt in there, and they come out, and they're so good. They're about this big, and you rub them in butter and you eat them.
Oh, I've never seen that. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a very upstate New York thing, the salt potato.
I wonder why it didn't spread, because it actually comes in a bag. So
yeah, and the potatoes are from
easy
Maine.
to make.
You can only get it. So whenever my brother comes or any upstate New York person comes, I say, oh, you've got to bring us salt potatoes. So I'm getting, a bushel bag of salt potatoes. Again, I'll be in upstate New York for Thanksgiving, and guess what I'm going to bring home? Salt potatoes.
Well, here's a little local thing for you. In New England, eggs that you buy at the store are brown as opposed to white. Our eggs are brown.
Farm eggs, we've had green and black speck. I grew up on a farm. So we have green eggs, green speckled eggs, white eggs, brown eggs, dark brown eggs.
How do you get green eggs?
Oh, from the chickens that lay them, I think are white ones with the black spots. They're really these big full chickens lay the green ones. We had so many chickens and so many varieties. But they're all eggs on the inside, but the outsides are.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had to do something to the chicken to make it produce a green egg.
Yeah, they drink green beer.
Flamingo, right? A flamingo is pink in his feathers because he eats shrimp all day. So it's a good question, but we fed ours always oyster shells and feed and rubbish from the house. So they were all fed the same. So I think they just make the green eggs, brown eggs, and white based on their.
Well, I know that the local dairy people, and they've been doing it for many years. They do something as part of the process to make the eggs deliberately brown, because it was many years ago, it was part of an advertising campaign locally where they said brown eggs are local eggs. It was like a radio campaign. You'd hear the commercials back like in the 40s and 50s. So the idea was to buy the brown because you're supporting the local dairy. But there was something they did deliberately to make it like that, like food color or something like that. Yeah.
So there's several breeds, because I knew there was a breed because I could see the ones that lay the green eggs. It had nothing to do with what we fed them because we fed them all the same thing was my point. The Araucana, the Americana, and I don't know, the Olive Egger and the Easter Egger. I guess they're the breeds that, yep, it describes the breeds. They some that lay blue eggs, and I mean, I just know it because we had all these different kinds. Bannies, I think, always laid brown eggs. So it really has nothing to do with what you feed them. You might think that, but it's not. It's something about the chicken itself.
Is that where Dr. Seuss's green eggs and ham came from?
Yeah.
And I think those are meaning the egg yolk, right?
I don't know. The green eggs and ham. I just wonder. I don't know. Never thought about it.
When I was growing up in Lawrence, we had green ham.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Times were tough.
Times are tough.
Times are tough.
So, guys, I'm going to lay into my tilapia.
Oh, I'm starving now, by the way.
She wants one of those double chocolate fraps.
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, now that I know what a frap is, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever visit us again, we'll find a place where we can get you a frap.
You know what? At Starbucks, they have strawberry and chocolate fraps.
Yeah, and it really, I don't think there's any difference between that and a milkshake. It's the same. So it's really just the whatever flavoring you put in it, plus the ice cream and plus milk. I think that's it. It's like 3 ingredients.
Yeah.
Put a little whipped cream on the top, maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting that that's what you guys say, though, a frap, not a milkshake.
Yep. And they never use milkshake here. And I learned that, when I moved here. So.
And that's filtered down to Starbucks because you're right, on the menu. I'm not a huge Starbucks goer because I don't drink coffee, but it says fraps up there.
Yep, it does.
Chocolate. Yeah. So that's probably why I thought it was related to
because it was at Starbucks. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. But somehow it went across the country to end up at Starbucks, and then it came back. So yeah, it's interesting. Well, anyway, this has been an interesting discussion, and I'm so glad we're live.
If you're sure.
I'm positive.
I can tell by chat that we're live because they're talking about eggs and frap.
Thank God. Thank God. So now I can go and I exhausted my popcorn, so I'm gonna go and have some nice chicken soup and think about those green eggs.
There you go.
Well, if I don't see you guys before the 1st, definitely we'll see each other December 1st. So we will be covering this for everybody out there. We'll be covering the Brian Walshe case from gavel to gavel and commenting on it. And we'll have some good guests on too. Maybe, Margaret, can you get Hank on?
I can try. That'd be nice. Yeah, I'll ask him.
Is he going to have any interest in doing anything ever like that again? Taking on a case like that?
He's got I know he's very busy because I reached out to him to see how he was, and he has like 3 trials back to back over the past 2 months or the past month. God. So he's very busy with trials. I know that. So I mean, I think he's a very good lawyer.
And he had back surgery too, right? So I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. So not only, so he's been busy, but he's catching up on all the work that he had to put off to do the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah.
But I'll see if I can get him on. I also want to get him on for that. Kevin and I were talking about the CIA. You'll be interested in this, Jen. There's the CIA and the MK Ultra. There's a new lawsuit out of Canada. So it might be interesting to get Hank on to talk about Whitey Bulger with those CIA experiments in the 50s that he actually participated in. So I'd like to do something on that at some point.
That would be interesting. Did you just hear that Dan Bongino and 2 other high executives with the FBI don't have to take polygraphs?
Oh, man. Wow. I didn't hear that.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Well, it was great to see you guys. Thank you. I'm gonna pop off.
Okay.
Watch the end of the Celtics game.
Enjoy.
There you go. Go Celts. I love the Celtics. Can you?
Wow.
I grew up watching Bird and DJ and Parrish, the whole gang. And I just love I grew to love the Celtics after that. And then Pierce went to KU and I went to KU. So, just, I'm a Celtics fan when it comes to basketball. It's kind of weird, but
I'm from upstate New York, and we also grew up watching the Celtics. So we've been a Celtics fans forever. My brother, who's in Rochester, all big Celtics fans. Of course, we were Yankees fans, and then I switched to Red Sox. I had to. I'd be booted out of the state. So, if you come this way, we'll go to a Celtics game.
Yes. Oh, that would be really fun. I actually got to go into the garden with the party floor, or however. Sorry, I'm terrible at doing accents, but it was so amazing. It was really neat. So
yeah, it's special, and Fenway Park is special too.
I'd like to go there.
Yeah,
tear them all down. They're always tearing down all these, amazing stadiums and stuff to build the new fancy ones. I love the old stuff.
Yeah, and we're lucky to have Fenway for sure. So
well, thank you for having me. I just
oh my God, I'm excited to be doing this in the future. Well, we're going to have some great discussions.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Jen. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. Okay, the funny thing is now I can't end the stream. End stream. Oh, there we go.